Good morning, I'm Lieutenant Ray Spencer. I'm the homicide lieutenant with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I'm out here this morning to brief you on a homicide investigation that we are conducting in the 200 block of West Chicago Avenue. I stress the details that I have right now are very preliminary, but at around 25 minutes after midnight, Metro Police responded on a report of multiple shots fired at a residence directly behind me. When police officers arrived, they located a woman who was in the front yard suffering from a gunshot wound. The officers performed a downed citizen rescue, and they brought the citizen to the intersection of Chicago and Industrial to perform first aid. Medical personnel arrived, and that woman was pronounced deceased at the scene. While officers were securing the scene, another male came outside of the residence suffering from 9 gunshot wounds. That male was rescued and transported to UMC Trauma, where he is currently in critical condition. The suspect was inside the residence when officers arrived. They contained the residence, and he did not cooperate and did not exit the residence. At that point, the Metro SWAT team arrived and was making a plan to make entry into the house. However, through negotiations, the male suspect exited and he was taken into custody. When the SWAT personnel started to clear the interior of the residence, they found the body of another female suffering from gunshot wounds inside the house. That female was also pronounced deceased at the scene. So just to recap, we have 2 deceased females both at the scene. We have 1 male victim shot multiple times at UMC Trauma. And we have the suspect, who was a Hispanic male in his late 70s, in custody. The preliminary details that we have right now is that this shooting resulted over a dispute over rent not being paid. We're still in the process of interviewing witnesses. We urge anyone who has any information to reach out to Crime Stoppers. That information can be completely anonymous, and there is reward money available. You can also reach out to homicide@lvmpd.com. I'll take a couple questions. I don't have much more than where we're at this point, though.
Let's just talk tactical protocol then. They find the woman who's been shot in the front yard of the place. Why did they decide to make the move to move her from one location to another at that point?
So when the responding officers got there and they saw a victim suffering from gunshot wounds, those officers formed the rescue team to provide first aid to her. You're not going to perform first aid when you have multiple moving parts and an armed suspect who has just shot multiple people inside the residence directly in front of those officers. So for their safety, they moved her down the street to where I'm standing right now.
How far behind your office was that point?
I don't have the specifics as far as the...
But pretty soon after medical arrives and...
Officers rendered aid to the first female at the scene, and once medical arrived, she was pronounced deceased.
You said this is a dispute over rent. Do you have any info in regards to the person arrested? Were they a landlord or were they an occupant?
So what we're getting is we believe that the suspect is the landlord of the house, and that the other people were living at the house. So I believe, from the preliminary details that we had, that he lived in the residence along with them.
Did you receive any information that the deceased were armed or acting in self, or you know what I mean, responsibility self-defense?
No, there's, not to cut you off, I apologize. There's nothing here that indicates that there's a claim of self-defense.
Spencer, was the suspect armed when he came out of the house?
So at one point, when he was taken into custody, he was not armed. There was, officers had visual surveillance of him during the initial stages of the barricade, which he was armed at one point. But when he was taken into custody without incident, that was
the residence as well.
Say that again.
The weapon was found in the residence.
Right now, we're in the process of obtaining a search warrant. We have not processed the residence. There's a lot of moving parts right here at the scene, so we should be in the house within the next hour to process it.
I'm trying to point you at a shoot. That's scary.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.